Hey, this is Miracle Max. Welcome to Rise of Civilizations. This is the first attempt on the Lost Temple in Kingdom number 55. And before the attempt starts, which we're just 3 minutes out, I wanted to explain how this works. So, the first part of taking the Lost Temple is the actual rally that happens on the Lost Temple. And there's one alliance that's responsible for the rally. They create the rally and attack the Lost Temple directly. Their additional units will be around to reinforce the rally as it weakens. There are four alliances whose job is to manage each of the forks leading into the alliance, or I'm sorry, leading into the Lost Temple. So our alliance, the blue over here, Sanctum, is responsible for protecting this fork coming in. And here's what I mean by that. As the attack on the Lost Temple happens, and as it takes damage, two different types of units are going to spawn in this area. The first type of unit that's going to spawn is a Guardian. And we've seen Guardians around the temples many, many times. In fact, Guardians are what we kill to have runes spawn. And runes are these little discs that are floating in the air. They offer buffs to us. So, our first job for my alliance will be to kill any guardians that appear on our fork. And that's our only responsibility, is this one fork. The second thing that's going to happen is as the temple takes increasing damage is at the bottom of the fork, the bottom corner, a troop type called a saint is going to appear. And the saint is attempting to get from the bottom to the center, and if it reaches the center, it will restore health to the lost temple. So we do not want that to happen, and our job is to kill the saints before they reach the center. Now, if you notice, we are on reduced graphic mode, and this is a normal thing to use when the Lost Temple is happening. If you look at our armies, it looks like we all forgot to bring our troops. And we didn't. They're there, but we've reduced the graphics and they're not showing. All you see is the commanders for each army. And the reason for this is that there's so many people online right now, and there's so much action happening in our kingdom that if the computer tried to generate all of these troops at once, it would crash. And this is true for every single player in all of these alliances. Everybody is on reduced graphic mode. It's the absolute only way to be able to view this and do this. So over here we have S equals S, it looks like, on this fork. I want to give everybody, make sure everyone's shouted out here. It looks like we have C and G and SPQR on this fork. Down here we have S equals S and C and N. We also have love. And it looks like we have IC3. And then we're in charge of this one fork here, my alliance sanctuary, SNCT. Now, as tempting as it is for all of us to watch the action everywhere, we have one job, and that is our fork. And no matter what happens, we're in charge of it. Some people wonder why we're not trying this alone as our alliance. And the simple fact is this: it is impossible to take the Lost Temple with just one alliance. And so if you're early on in this game and you're thinking, our job as an alliance is to crush everyone and make it to the top, that's not true. In fact, it takes 4 to 6 alliances to make this happen. So this game is about building a strong alliance internally, but also creating allies in the game, creating relationships with other alliances to ensure that when you reach the end game, that you are in the group that is taking the Lost Temple. And also, at the beginning of this game, there are hundreds of alliances in each kingdom. And, through attrition, the smaller ones drop out and the stronger ones rise to the top. Um, but those that are overly aggressive get destroyed just because they attack someone who has good allies. And, it doesn't matter how strong your alliance is, three or four alliances can take you down and cause your alliance to disband. So just as you're going through, if you're in a kingdom number much higher than 55, know that this game isn't 100% aggression. It is good to be strong. It is good to be able to take out other alliances when need be. But more importantly, it's important to build good relationships and prepare for this moment in the kingdom. So our attempt is supposed to happen at 5 a.m. for me, 5 a.m. Pacific time. I woke up just for this. Yay for me. Not my usual wake up time, especially on a Saturday morning. Right now my troops are down here. I was collecting a ruin, and I guess I need to move them up here. So to do that, I'm going to pretend to gather this. I have two armies on the field. Minamoto is leading an army that has 138,000 units, and I have Scipio, and he's leading an army with 157,000 units. If you remember earlier in gameplay, we talked a lot about making sure to level up your hospitals. And the main reason behind this is this battle is going to cause me to send a lot of severely wounded units to the hospital. And if my hospitals can't handle, like I said, between the two, I have about. I just got to make sure I stop him. No, don't gather that. Sorry. The last thing I want to do is lose the buff I already have, which is an attack buff. Um, as I said, I have, almost 300,000 units on the battlefield. And I'm going to have units heading to the hospital over and over and over again during this process. And if I cannot heal my severely wounded units, if my hospitals fill up, then those troops will turn from severely wounded to dead. And we do not want that to happen. So I'm going to go back to my village. Let me go ahead and get some more troops training. Like I said, I woke up really early for this and I haven't even looked at my account. My hospitals are empty. My total beds available are 132,000, which is less than half of the total units that I have on the field. So I'm going to be popping back here during the battle and making sure to keep my units training, my units healing. All right, let's head back out to where my troops are, and let's see what we're doing here. All right, here we are in chat. Everybody is in low graphic. All right, nothing really happening in the chat. Sorry for the long pauses. Again, we're in a holding pattern right now until the attack on the Lost Temple starts. They are probably in the middle of marching with their rally or getting all their players together for the rally. The other alliances that are involved in this, a lot of them are based halfway around the world. So for them, this is prime time evening. For me in California, not so much. And for a lot of our a lot of our alliance that are on the East Coast, at least it's after 8 a.m. for them. So they've probably already have coffee. I am just starting on that process, but I'm hoping this goes quickly so that I can go back to sleep. Maybe these are awkward pauses that I'll edit out. Maybe not. We shall see. All right, a couple things to know also is it's important that when you um, take the Lost Templar or are engaged in any type of war activity, use your buffs properly. And buffs that I have going on, I have a troop defense buff, and that is from my items, and I'll show you that. My gathering don't really matter. And the last one I have is called a Ruin of Fury, and it is a troop attack of a plus 10%. The buffs that are important or boosts that are important to pick up when this is happening, if you go to your boost tab, um, we have enhanced attack of 5% for 12 hours, enhanced attack by 5% of 24 hours, and then these defense also that are 5%. For those people who cannot bring large armies, there are army expansion. This is a basic carrying 25% more troops, and this is an advanced carrying 50% more troops. My commanders are pretty strong, pretty leveled up, so I'm not having an issue where I can't bring enough troops to the battle. So I'm not using the army expansion, but I do have both in defense and an attack buff being used. Let's just back out here a little bit so you can see the size of what's happening. Some of these units that are out on the field, on the forks that look a little more crowded, again, are armies that will join the rally once it starts to weaken. I don't know the size of the general leading this battle. I do know that he is the strongest player in our kingdom. So let's go to individual power. And I'm 174, which actually, all things considered, is pretty high since I've spent very little money on this game. Um, it looks like S equals S is going to be leading the rally, though the top player there, Old Wang, is from CNN. So there's been some player shuffling that's happened also. We have to make sure that the strongest players are all in the rally. We've moved some players between alliances to make that happen. Like I said, Old Wang is not normally in S and S. He is in the A and C N. So they've taken the top 4 or 5 players in our kingdom and put them all in the same alliance to ensure that that rally is as strong as possible. So that's where we can expect to see the rally from is S equals S. We'll close out of that and see if we see. Oh, all right, we've got action happening. Okay, so right now um, we see damage coming in on the Lost Temple. I'm looking to see exactly where the arrows are coming from. It appears to be over here. There it is. There's the army. All right, as much as that will be fun to watch, I need to get to our fork and make sure we don't have any guardians appearing or any saints appearing. And I'll try and stay where we can see both. We're going to see red numbers popping up that are damage to our troops or our rally, and numbers popping up on the temple that's damage to it. It looks like where the green numbers are popping up, that's where our troops are, and so that's our damage happening, and then the numbers on the Lost Temple are the damage happening to it. And if we click on it, oh, I can't see the damage yet. All right, it looks like we're going to have troops appearing right here. It just said the light of the believers. Okay, that's the believers, and we need to attack those. So I'm going to send one of my armies against that. And I'm hoping that our fork wakes up. There we go. And get a whole bunch of people in there. I'm only using one army on this. I'm holding back with the second for right now. It doesn't look like I'm going to need the second on this, but if a guardian appeared right now, I would want to make sure that I was ready for that. So I'm camping again. Our fork took down that real quick. All right, now we have a sorry, now we had a guardian that appeared. So the first one was a saint, and that's the one we wanted to keep from marching and reaching the temple. This is a guardian, and he's purely there to give us grief. He can't heal the lost temple, he just wants to slow us down. So he's gone. Got to camp that unit, and here we go. Now we have another saint marching in. I'm going to attack, and it really doesn't matter which unit I send. I just want to send one at a time so that I can jump on the next thing that appears. All right, I'm hoping everyone up here was able to handle their business. Um, and this has to be a game of trust that everybody else is doing their job. I can't take the time to watch what they're doing. Um, and let's camp you. You know, one thing that can happen very easily in this is there can be accidental attacking um, of other alliances, um, simply because we're not all on the same team. It is fine with me attacking enemies. So I need to be very careful about who's doing what here. All right, so again, those tank-like looking things are guardians trying to just kill us. So we're going to destroy that. I need to find this guy and camp him. And now we're looking for another saint to appear. I can't even see my troops in this battle, to be honest. Let's take a quick peek over here. Looks like they're struggling um, to keep up. All right, it says congratulations. We've become the S equals S became the first alliance to capture the lost temple. So it's done. And it looks like some people are accidentally attacking the lost temple, which we do not want to do. Um, it's a quick way to have units die. So let's go home real quick. I did not have time in that battle to heal any troops, but I had 35 only that are severely wounded. We're going to go to our battle reports. 1 severely wounded, 22 severely wounded, 12 severely wounded. So I'm truly not sure why. I only had such a few number of troops severely wounded. It appears we just were overpowering of this. We didn't really get to see what was happening on the other forks, but that's it. Everybody gets to go home now. And at this point, our kingdom would be a kingdom that is now in peace. And it means that all objectives for this kingdom have been achieved. And we now are in a period where alliances, for the most part, will relax, get along, and that's it. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed this. Sorry it was a um, little disjointed, but when there's so much action happening and all these alliances are doing something that you can't see, it's hard to track that. So I hope you enjoyed this. I'm probably not going to do any editing just because there was constant action happening. There we are. Now it shows that S equals S owns the Lost Temple. Um, we will rotate whose name this falls under between the alliances that engaged in this battle. And so it usually goes about a week at a time before it's transferred in ownership to the next alliance. until all the alliances that participated have had their shot. All right, I appreciate you watching this video. If you watched it, please throw a like. That tells me to keep making more videos. If you have questions on how to take the Lost Temple or how things were decided, please leave a comment. I respond to them all, and I'll do my best to give you more information or direct you to someone else who can if it's outside of my knowledge base. I would love to have you subscribe. That way you are notified when I have a new video pop up on Rise of Civilizations. Until then, I hope you have a good day and good luck in your kingdom. This is Miracle Max. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.